Hungary is one of the most popular countries in the world. Its capital, Budapest, is considered among the most magnificent cities on Earth. Across the country, you'll find countless sites and buildings protected under UNESCO World Heritage. Hungary is also home to incredible natural wonders, such as Lake Balaton, the largest lake in Central Europe, and Hortobágy, the continent's most extensive grassland. Hungary covers about 90,000 square kilometers. And if you're someone who travels for architecture, this country should definitely be on your list. Its buildings are simply dazzling. Masterpieces from classical eras, alongside fascinating museums, draw visitors from across the globe. Landlocked in the heart of Central Europe, Hungary shares borders with Slovakia to the north, Romania to the east, Serbia to the south, and Slovenia to the west. From Turkey, you can fly directly into Hungary. Since the country is a member of the European Union, entry is straightforward if you hold a valid Schengen visa. But be prepared. The summers can be very hot, with temperatures easily reaching 35 degrees Celsius. Winters, on the other hand, bring snow and freezing conditions, often dropping to -10. When you travel to Hungary, you'll quickly realize that greeting someone with a kiss on the cheek is not common here, especially with the opposite sex. A handshake is the preferred and polite way to say hello. People usually address each other by both their first and last names. If you're invited to a Hungarian home, it's customary to bring a gift: flowers, chocolate, or a good bottle of wine. Arriving empty-handed would be considered impolite. And one more thing, when you step inside, take off your shoes. One thing you'll quickly notice is that smoking is widespread. While smoking in public transport and indoor public areas is banned, many Hungarians are heavy smokers. Another point to keep in mind: English is widely spoken here. In fact, knowing English is often a requirement for finding work. Modern Hungary has developed an extensive transportation network, making it a hub for trade across Europe. While the country lacks abundant natural resources, it does have natural gas, and its economy thrives through industry, particularly chemicals, plastics, fertilizers, aluminum, and construction. So, when you land at Budapest and want to take a taxi, you can pay by card if you don't have cash. There are currency exchange counters at the airport, but the fees are quite high, so I wouldn't recommend changing money there. At the moment, one Turkish lira equals about 23 Hungarian forints. Turkish lira isn't accepted at the airport, but once you're in the city center, you can exchange it for forints without a problem. In Hungary, always choose the taxis with a company name displayed on them. Otherwise, you risk getting caught by freelance drivers who overcharge unsuspecting passengers. If you're planning to settle in Hungary permanently, there's another important detail. Within 1 month of your arrival, you must register your address with the Turkish consulate. Without this, you'll face restrictions in official matters. For instance, you won't be able to vote during elections in Hungary. Whether that matters to you or not is up to you. But keep in mind, skipping address registration can also lead to fines. One interesting fact about Hungary is how its banks operate. Unlike in Turkey, where banks earn massive profits from high-interest loans and credit cards, interest rates in Hungary are very low. Because of that, banks here make money in other ways. For example, when you withdraw cash from your bank's ATM, you only get 3 or 4 free transactions per month. After that, they charge commission fees. And if you use ATMs without a bank's name on them, those fees can be surprisingly high. If you're planning to rent an apartment in Hungary, you'll also notice a difference compared to Turkey. Hungarian landlords usually ask for 2 months' rent as a deposit instead of 1. This means when you sign for a place, you typically pay 3 times the monthly rent up front. 1 month's rent plus 2 deposits. On the other hand, Renting a car in Hungary isn't the best idea. The issue isn't the rental prices, it's parking. Unless your accommodation includes free parking, you'll find that parking fees are very expensive. In fact, Hungary has some of the highest parking costs and traffic fines in Europe, especially near tourist attractions, and traffic rules are strict. Even after just one beer, you're not allowed to drive. The legal blood alcohol limit is 0, and if you're caught, you could even lose your license. For those considering Hungary as a place to study, there are real advantages. Degrees earned here are recognized across the European Union, so you won't have to worry about additional qualification exams to work in other EU countries. Studying in Hungary is also more affordable compared to many other European nations. And unlike in Turkey, where university entrance exams are run by the state, in Hungary, each university organizes its own admissions tests for prospective students. Another surprise for many newcomers is the number of Turkish grocery stores in Hungary. Shops sell a wide range of Turkish products, with labels written in Turkish, making shopping familiar and easy. But keep in mind, Hungary's value-added tax, or VAT, is quite high, 27%, one of the highest in Europe. On the bright side, when buying a car, you don't pay additional taxes like special consumption tax, which makes vehicles here nearly half the price of those in Turkey. Hungary's healthcare system is also somewhat similar to Turkey's. Every person has a family doctor, and you need to visit them first for any medical issues. If your condition is serious, they'll refer you to a hospital. As in many countries, public insurance doesn't cover private hospitals. You'll need to pay out of pocket for that. As for society, Hungarians are generally warm, friendly, and welcoming. While in some parts of Europe Turks may face discrimination, in Hungary this is rarely the case. People here see no reason to treat Turks differently. They recall that although the Ottoman Empire once ruled parts of Hungary, it didn't attempt to assimilate or erase Hungarian culture. Because of this, Hungarians don't carry hostility toward Turks. Hungarians enjoy a good conversation, but there are a couple of topics that should be avoided, especially when visiting a Hungarian home. Politics and sports are considered controversial subjects, particularly if you have differing opinions. Social life here, especially in Budapest, largely depends on your approach. Some people say there is a small-town feel to the city. This sentiment holds some truth. Due to cultural and language differences, as well as the occasional reluctance of Hungarians to befriend foreigners, it often seems like everyone in the community knows each other. Toasting is a common practice in many countries, but in Hungary, it comes with its own set of rules. The Hungarian word for cheers is egészségedre. Good luck trying to say that after a few drinks, but it should never be said while clinking beer glasses. According to legend, after the Hungarians were defeated in the 1848 revolution against the Habsburgs, the Austrians celebrated with a beer toast. Since then, Hungarians have refused to say egészségedre when drinking ale. Public transport in the capital is remarkably efficient, featuring trams, trolleybuses, regular buses, and an underground tube system, though some vehicles can appear quite old and worn. One of the main drawbacks is that you cannot pay as you board. Small kiosks at certain metro stations offer booklets of 10 or 20 tickets, and monthly passes are available for regular commuters. It's important to validate your ticket at the beginning of each journey, as random checks are common, and there are fines for those who fail to validate their tickets. As the capital of the country, Budapest is significantly more expensive than smaller towns or rural areas. Moreover, in relation to local salaries, the cost of living in Budapest can be quite high. Whether you can enjoy a comfortable lifestyle in Budapest or end up living in a small room on the outskirts of the city largely depends on your salary and your personal living standards. Some expats in Budapest may prefer to buy their own apartment or house rather than renting. Luckily, this is not a problem, as Hungary allows foreigners to own real estate, provided they apply for a purchase permit from the Administrative Authority Office. Now, let's take a quick look at Hungary's history. It's believed that the origins of the Hungarian people trace back thousands of years to nomadic Hun tribes of Central Eurasia. Because of this, historians often highlight the deep cultural ties between Hungarians and Turkic peoples. Before settling in what is now Hungary, these tribes lived around the Ural and Altai mountains of Central Asia, and at that time they were known as the Huns. Attila the Hun, regarded by many historians as the great ancestor of the Hungarian people, is also considered by Turks as part of their own ancient heritage. Even today, you'll notice similarities between Hungarian and Turkish names. For instance, Hungarians call Attila, Attila, Emre becomes Imre, and Sultan is Zoltan. Many words share roots too. Beard is Sakal, mother is Anya, door is Kapu, and lid is Kupak. Both languages belong to the agglutinative family, adding suffixes to form meaning. After the Huns, the Magyars moved from Central Asia into the Carpathian Basin, conquering local Celtic, Romanian, Slavic, and Avar tribes. The first Hungarian state was established around the year 1000 with a feudal structure. But in 1241, the Mongols invaded, leaving the kingdom badly weakened. By 1526, after suffering defeat in the Battle of Mohacs, Hungary came under Ottoman rule for nearly 150 years. Later, Hungary became part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, but the two world wars brought that empire to an end. On February 1, 1946, Hungary was declared a republic. Today, the country has a population of nearly 10 million. Although a member of the European Union, Hungary uses its own currency, the Hungarian forint, instead of the euro. So, if you enjoy lively cities, a friendly atmosphere, and a country with good living standards, Hungary could be just the place for you. Of course, salaries here won't match those in Germany or Switzerland, but life can still be very comfortable. This brings us to the end of the video. Until next time, goodbye.